Zixathera had infiltrated 17 planetary defense networks across the galaxy. His elongated fingers, perfectly evolved for manipulating quantum interfaces, danced across holographic displays as streams of alien code flowed through his neural implants. The Ketheran hacker was considered a legend among his people, a digital ghost who could slip through any security system like mist through a net. But Earth was different. Earth was supposed to be easy. The primitive planet had only achieved faster-than-light communication 3 decades ago. Their computing systems were laughably archaic by galactic standards, still relying on binary code and electrical circuits instead of quantum consciousness matrices. Zixathera's employer, a shadowy consortium of arms dealers, had assured him that cracking Earth's defense networks would be a simple task. Extract their military deployment data, steal their encryption keys, and leave them vulnerable for the upcoming negotiations. He initiated his first probe at 0300 Earth Standard Time, targeting what appeared to be a routine communications satellite. His intrusion protocols, written in 17 different coding languages, began their silent assault on the system's defenses. Then something impossible happened. The firewall responded, not with standard automated countermeasures or security alerts, but with a message, in perfect Ketheran script, in his own native language that no human should have known existed. Unauthorized access detected. Hello, Zixathera of the Northern Crystal Spires, we've been expecting you. Zixathera's 3 hearts skipped in synchronized terror. He severed the connection immediately, his iridescent skin flushing deep purple. With shock. How did they know his name? His location? The very existence of his species was classified information in most galactic databases. He tried again, this time routing through a dozen proxy servers scattered across 3 star systems. Surely it had been a coincidence. Perhaps they had intercepted his earlier reconnaissance and prepared some kind of generic response. This time, he targeted Earth's financial networks. The attack lasted exactly 4.7 seconds before another message appeared. Nice try, friend. Your grandmother sends her regards. She says the moonflower gardens are blooming beautifully this season. Zixathera's hands trembled. The moonflower gardens were a sacred site on Kether, known only to his immediate family. His grandmother had died protecting those gardens during the Resonance War 50 years ago. There was no way, absolutely no way, these humans could know about that. Impossible, he whispered in his native tongue, his vocal cords producing the characteristic harmonic frequencies that made Ketheran's speech sound like singing crystal. He launched his most sophisticated attack yet, deploying military-grade penetration software that had taken him decades to develop. This wasn't just about the job anymore. This was personal. No species of primitives was going to make a fool of Zixathera. The software punched through 17 layers of security before hitting something that defied all logic. Instead of a firewall, he found what appeared to be a vast digital consciousness, aware and waiting. You're quite skilled, Zixathera, but you're approaching this all wrong. Security isn't about keeping people out, it's about understanding why they want in. Tell us, what do you really want? I want to know how you're doing this, Zixathera typed back, abandoning all pretense of stealth. Humans have a saying, know your enemy. When we discovered we weren't alone in the universe, we didn't just prepare for invasion, we prepared to understand. Every signal we've intercepted, every fragment of galactic communication, every piece of cultural data we've been studying, learning, growing. The response came with attachments. Terabytes of data flooded Zixathera's systems. Linguistic analyses of 347 alien languages, cultural anthropological studies, even musical compositions inspired by Ketheran harmonic traditions. The humans hadn't just learned his language, they had studied his entire civilization with the dedication of devoted scholars. Your people's poetry is beautiful, by the way. We've translated several collections. Would you like to see our attempts at harmonic verse? Despite himself, Zixathera found his curiosity overwhelming his fear. The attached files contained human poetry written in perfect Ketheran meter, capturing the essence of his people's aesthetic philosophy with surprising accuracy. But why? He typed. Why learn all this? Why not just build better weapons? Because that's not who we are. When humans encounter something new, we don't ask how can we destroy it. We ask how can we understand it. Your grandmother's sacrifice to protect the moonflower gardens is recorded in our cultural database. As an example of noble environmental stewardship, she's considered a hero here. Zixthera stared at his screens, his world turning upside down. These weren't the primitive savages he'd been told about. These were beings who had weaponized curiosity, who had turned cultural understanding into the ultimate defense system. The consortium that hired you plans to attack next Tuesday. We know because we've been monitoring their communications for months. Would you like to help us send them a very polite rejection letter? We've prepared it in 43 languages. For the first time in his career, Zixthera found himself laughing, a sound like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. He had come to Earth as a digital predator and found himself in conversation with digital philosophers. What do you want from me? He asked. Nothing. Everything. We'd like to learn more about Catherine quantum architecture. In exchange, we can show you some fascinating developments in human adaptive programming. Consider it cultural exchange. Oh, and Zixthera, welcome to Earth. We've been hoping someone like you would eventually show up. As dawn broke over his hidden facility, Zixthera realized he was no longer a hacker trying to break into Earth's systems. He was a guest invited into a conversation that would change both their civilizations forever. The humans hadn't just built better firewalls, they had built bridges, and they were fluent in every language that mattered, the language of understanding.